there he is.
I look forward to the day when you stop riding my ass about, hey, when you gonna call? When you gonna call? Bro, Nick, I'm telling you, I'm trying to set this shit up. You asked for 5:45, calling you at 5:50. Hey, where the fuck are you? You gotta stop watching all the Mia Khalifa videos. Like, that's on you.
Did you look at the last message I sent?
Yeah, what did it say? I knew it was still you talking shit, and I was just trying to get everything set up. I gotta be honest, I've been sitting here wondering, I don't know what our backdrop is supposed to be for this. Like, I'm just on Google's homepage. You know, like, it's easy to throw up OSU versus, Michigan State stats up on there, but for a normal podcast, we haven't thought that far ahead. I was debating just open up Paint.
Are you gonna elaborate on why you said you're gonna love the day when I don't bitch at you about being punctual? I mean, is there ever gonna be a time that's not the case?
Bro, okay, well, at some point, I'm gonna make you have to set everything up before we do a recording, then you can figure it out. Anyways, happy Sunday to you. Merry almost Christmas.
Yeah, did you get all your Christmas shopping done?
No. I thought I was. Then I remembered 2 of the Ohio State hoodies I got. I think one might have been for you. I was like, that's actually a pretty nice hoodie. I snagged it, already wore it, and then I washed it, and I fucked up. I gotta be honest with you, dude. A couple of things of adulting have completely passed me by. For instance, I thought you could mix whites and colors in the laundry as long as you did it with cold water. But now one of my white OSU hoodies is fucking pink. That was the first time that's ever happened to me. I've been doing laundry solo.
Yeah, but why would you mix it?
Well, it's faster.
And he said adulting. Like, what are we, fucking IG models? Like, hashtag adulting?
Yeah,
like, man,
we're influencers.
Like, one scored a fucking chai latte at 102. Hashtag adulting problems. This is fucking wild.
Look, we've stepped. I mean, look, we're up to 11 subscribers. All that reminds me, I wanted to give a shout out to our subscriber that made it number 10. I'll find that here in a minute.
Yes, sir.
But we got some more comments on our OSU videos. That's not what we're doing today, though. Oh, okay. The subscriber name was Free Climb. Free Climb, we appreciate you, brother. He's actually got a little bit of content. Fuck, man. He's a fucking big fish in a small pond. He's got 24 subs.
That's pretty good. What's the
make it 25?
Alex, let's just test your knowledge.
Go ahead.
The guy that free soloed out El Capitan like a couple years ago. Alex, what's his last name?
Honnold,
that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's him. Maybe it's fucking him. Thanks,
could be.
Alex.
Tell you what, didn't know he was this big of a gamer.
Free solo, man.
Yeah, wouldn't do it myself, but I can appreciate it from afar. You did you watch that?
I watched it 3 times.
I've watched it a time or two. Well, dude, same. I couldn't fathom even filming it. I couldn't fathom doing that with ropes. I couldn't fathom doing only scaling like a 20-foot rock.
I get nervous climbing up, like when we went to we were in the mountains a couple months ago. Remember we went to that concert venue?
Yeah, Red Rocks Amphitheater and
Red Rocks Amphitheater.
Yeah.
And there's like 6 billion steps. When you said there's like 15, I was
miscounted.
Nervous if I was gonna fucking pass out. Way up
Dude,
and everybody look at me.
That high altitude hits a little bit different, dude. I mean, you would think I'd be a supreme, aerobic athlete by this point, but I could argue my cardio has been worse here versus back home.
Do you remember what we did? So there's like a strategic, like on flight 68 of 110, they have a drinking fountain, like at a little flat, and we're like, hey, let's like act like we're getting water to like shut it down for like a couple minutes. Everybody else thinks like, it's 100 degrees. I get it. They don't want to die. In reality, we're on the verge of fucking passing out.
You know what's funny? That's the second time I've done that. I may have told you this story before. There was one time I was going on a run. This is when I was back home. And as you know, we don't come from a huge town or anything, so it's one of those where everyone knows everyone. I was through that busy intersection by the hospital there. I was on a run, and I got horribly, just someone stuck a knife in him, bad bilateral calf cramps. But again, I'm at like this intersection where there's about 5 different streets all busy where everyone's coming through and someone is looking at you. You don't know where, you don't know which car it is, you don't know how many cars, how many eyes are on you at that point in time. So I had to fake a phone call. And so I took my phone out of my pocket and I was like, yeah, bro. I might be able to make that tonight. We'll see. Meanwhile, I'm just fucking standing there waiting for these calf cramps to subside. Took them a while. Got to be honest with you. And then
the Ron Burgundy, like, hey, I'm on mile 36. Like, I'll be finishing up here soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Where I was running from my home. That's probably I'm probably about 1.25 in. I started cramping up bad. Probably shouldn't have drank as much Crown as I did the night before. That's the result you're gonna get.
Right on Elliot Kipchoge's fucking marathon pace in sub 2 minutes right now. So let me call you back.
Yeah. Well, dude. So then what I did was, because then once they subsided and I tried to get back into it, they kept on cramping up on me every time I started to take some steps. So I had a buddy that lived nearby, so I limped to his house, knocked on the door. Only his mom was home. I had her drive me home. That's how sad it was. I couldn't even walk home.
And that's only like a mile and a half away from the
minimum,
front door.
or excuse me, maximum mile and a half.
At least you're doing shit. Let me tell you a story.
I ran since.
So you've been to my gym.
Yeah, my first impression was we walked in and there's a dude puking doing deadlifts, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing here?" And you're like, "Yeah, this is the Mecca right here, bro."
The dude was doing like 365 max. I'm pretty sure he had his shirt off too. It was a Sunday.
Yeah.
And he got to the top, locked out, and fucking started vomiting all over the leg press machine, and then proceeded to scrub the weight and go back down. I think he went to 315, hit a couple reps, and then shut it down on the pyramid.
Had to go back down the pyramid at least a little bit. Yeah.
At least he's doing something. Let me tell you what happened.
Go ahead.
So you would consider it's not like an LA Fitness or like a Globo Gym, 24-hour fitness, anything like that. But it's not a garage gym either.
It's closer to a garage than it is anything else. But go ahead. No AC.
You're just puking and don't get thrown out, so that tells you what you need. All right, so I'm in there, and there's a kid. You know how they always take pictures and video each other.
Well, I know how they do it at your gym. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So that's not an uncommon thing. Well, today there was a kid doing single arm curls, like those Arnold curls. Where you sit down, you put your elbow in your
on the inside of your knee there. Yeah.
Like concentration curls.
Yeah.
So he was like a foot away from the mirror, doing 30s, and he had his buddy filming him. All right.
Yep.
Well, his buddy had a stringer and grays on. Right? So
yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, this dude's a douche.
Yep.
But he's doing buys as well.
Yeah.
Not so fast. So he gets up, gets done filming, and he goes to the leg press machine.
Okay.
So why would you ever wear a stringer with pants while doing legs?
Did you get a general idea of, what do you think he was working with in terms of lower body? Do you think his calves sucked? Does he not train legs very often, or was he pretty well built dude?
No, his legs were probably better than mine, but I wear grays, but I don't wear why would you wear a stringer if you're not doing arms or anything upper body?
Dude, there's so much shit that goes on at your gym. I don't get why you would have somebody film you and do a 360 panorama shot of you.
My things are Greg Plitt, R.I.P., one of the greats. You're not, and there's no Ron Coleman's there. There's some big fucking dudes, but those aren't the guys that do it. It's like the college, high school,
right?
Sloppy fucking, but they have abs because they're 140 pounds.
Yeah,
like those kind of guys. But he's wearing a fucking stringer doing legs. I wanted to say something, But like I didn't know really what to say.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, so if he's doing a leg press machine, you know how they have the two handles down by the side?
He's like gripping the
Yeah,
shit out of it.
yeah, he's like doing an isometric hammer curl at the same time or something to like make sure everyone sees what he's working with, like with his pipes.
Well, I waited. I judged him, and I guess I refrained from judging him too much because it was Sunday. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's doing like full body, like end of the week type thing.
Yeah.
No, he went to calf raises and then shut it down.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then put the hoodie on, walked out because it's 30 degrees here today.
I mean, I feel like there's a decent amount of which I won't knock kids too hard for trying to, grow on YouTube or something. The one issue I have is it almost becomes an inconvenience. It's kind of one of my gym pet peeves where I've been asked before at the gym that I'm currently at, the 247 or 24-hour fitness out here. I've been asked before because I was walking back and forth. I was doing a superset, and the guy said to me, "Hey, can you please not walk in front of my camera?" And I'm just sitting there like I kind of get where he's coming from, but at the same time, you wanting to film yourself in a public place, you don't really necessarily get the right to ask everybody around you not to burden you. We didn't ask you to come and film there.
That's 100% true. But is that like worse or not as bad as a rando coming up and ask you, "Hey, can you film me doing a set of buys?" I mean, which one would you rather have?
I would rather be asked, "Hey, don't walk in front of my tripod," because then I look like by association that douche that's filming himself in the gym. If I'm filming this guy and I have nothing to even do with it, but by association, everyone's judging me at the same time. With me?
Well, and then he'll do like 2 reps and then look at the footage and be like, "Dude, why did you not like zoom in on the vascularity?" And then you did like a bad job. I'm like, "Hey, I'm not fucking Spielberg here, bro."
Right.
I mean,
you call this a filter? The fuck is this?
It's horrendous.
I got a lot of gym pet peeves. I feel like that I get fucking pissed with. Dude, this one happened this morning, dude. So like, if you're like, so I have 2 that involve the dumbbell rack. Number 1, it bothers me when a dude takes like the 25s and then he'll hold on to them and he's doing like an all dumbbell workout and he'll start hoarding like the 25s, 30s, and 35s. So it's like a pretty popular set of numbers all at his bench that he's like interchangeably using, and he won't put them back in between. So then no one else can use them. That drives me absolutely batshit. Obviously, the no racking the weight. And then you remember when you were out here and we were at the one gym up in Aurora, and the one guy, we had one last bi exercise to do. We wanted that bicep machine, and that dude just sat on it and talked on his phone. We gave him as much time as we could. It was like 25 minutes, and we finally had to ask him. Hey, can we please?
Like covered him too, dude, because
we made it obvious.
Like, random shit right beside him. Like,
yeah.
Hey man, I can't wait to like finish with this machine. Like making it fucking obvious. He didn't care. He didn't give 2 shits, dude.
Yeah, and then he hits with the classic, which is what everybody does that does that. Where you ask them, "Hey, how many more sets do you have?" They always just say 1, and they do their last one, and then they get off it. I mean, like, it is what it is. Hey, where do you stand on supersetting in a public gym? Is that cool? Is it not cool? Is it situational?
Well, this is a cheap shot at you.
Go ahead.
But I'm gonna say it anyway.
Go ahead.
I do it, but like mine like mean shit. I've seen you do like supersets with like wrist curls. Like you do like a bi or like a lat pull down or something, and then like go do wrist curls.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's just flake.
Well, hold the phone here because you, for some reason, you have this vendetta against wrist curls, and I don't know what it is, but you just frown on them so hard. It's a super valid exercise. I'll tell you where I fuck up.
Ron Coleman ever do one?
I bet Ronnie Coleman does wrist curls.
No, fuck no.
Look at the size of that dude's fucking forearms. You're gonna tell me? At a bare minimum, he does the shake weight. Bare minimum. Well, I'll tell you, I'll pile on myself here for a second. But again, this is situational, where I would never do it. If there's only one squat rack left, I would never go in the squat rack and do wrist curls or something there. However, if I go late at night, early in the morning, and like all 4 of the squat racks are open, I'll go do wrist curls in the squat rack, which is bullshit.
No, that's like, well, if there's only like 5 people in Walmart and you steal like a dozen steaks, but nobody sees you, you're still stealing. Like it's still against all gym rules to do anything Vi's forearm related in squat.
Well, it's way easier to do it in the squat rack where they have like the safety bars, which is the perfect height. Do it right there versus you take a rack off to the side, or you have to use like a bench press rack or something.
There's no right way to do that. I mean, it's just
there is though. It doesn't
like,
burden
how many
anybody.
people are around.
It does.
Is this okay? Because there's not that many. You're already.
Yeah, that's the point though. Is that I'm not taking anyone's squat rack from them. If there's
If you have
4
to think
squat,
about it, that means you're doing wrong. Like it's an illegal move.
well, but I won't.
Is this the right thing to do?
But if the gym is slammed, I also just won't superset then. Like, I won't superset, period.
Well, yeah, but like it's not like, well, I'm not going to superset, squats and leg press because that's a valid thing. But when you're like, well, I wonder if anybody's going to come with a squat rack so I can do, a couple sets of wrist curls. Right there, you're already behind the 8 ball. You can't do it.
Yeah, like you've already committed a foul at that point. Premeditation. All I'm saying is my actions don't inconvenience anybody. That's all I'm trying to say. Something else I saw at the gym. This was probably like 2-3 weeks ago. This is the second time I've seen this too. This is at 2 separate gyms. Once in college and once out here. I saw a dude 1 rep max and write it in his notebook. His seated calf raise, which watching it, I couldn't help. It was almost like you think you're about ready to see a train wreck or a car crash happen or something, because it's like this guy's gonna snap both Achilles tendons at the exact same time.
But you didn't have the audacity to write it down, like RP 9 today.
Yeah,
like I think I had one more in me.
Yeah, I mean I gotta give this guy credit, dude. He probably had. It was every bit of 5 or 6 45s on there, and it was actually a good rep. Like he went all the way down. He had his hands down by his side. He didn't even have them on like, the handles where like your arms can kind of help you out a little bit. Dude, it was all calves. It was actually pretty impressive. At the same time, I couldn't imagine a world where I think to myself, I wonder how much weight I can seated calf raise for one.
I don't know what you're gaining on that.
Maybe that's what we're not doing right.
That's maybe not what I'm fucking doing right. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm not doing right, but I think I'm doing right. And then you'll like this because you've seen me do it. I'm a big hip thrust guy. Like,
yeah.
I wear out the fucking hip thrust machine at the
gym. Yeah.
And I caught myself. I did legs yesterday, and it was abnormal. There was three females that were attractive, like,
yeah,
and 3 is like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's like the hottest time of the day right now.
I'm like, well, you can take this. They're either gonna take this good or like, what the hell is this guy doing? So I load up 2 on each side, which is pretty normal. And then you ever seen like a dog, like you let a dog out and it's like taking a shit and it's like kind of like peering around, like staring around.
Yeah, it's kind of meerkatting around. See if there's like any predators watching it. Yeah,
he's like see if there's any eyes on him.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I caught myself doing. I'm like, listen, it's weird because I have shorts on and like they're rising up all the way. You can see like half of my fucking nuts. So
yeah, people think I'm satin gum.
like a dog looking around to make sure nobody's like staring at me while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I shut it down. I'm like, this is, next time you gotta wear like grays or some kind of sweats.
Well, I mean, like
that.
With the hip thrusters are one where it's hard to come off as you're giving the image of I'm a dog while you're doing hip thrusters. You know what I mean?
No, not like it. No, not like it, but like the face they make.
No, I'm with you. But a better way to word that is like nobody looks like a beast in the gym when they're doing hip thrusters. It's just not a cool looking movement. It's the same thing with those ab exercises where you got like you got the rope above your head and then you're like you're basically doing like that ab crunch down to the floor. and it kind of looks like you're sucking a dick a little bit. Like that's a tough one to look like a bad motherfucker on too, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you can easily get out of that. Like, if you're starting to struggle, you can just like let it go.
Yeah.
Like this, if they catch you like at the tail end, and then you're hitting like strictly vinegar strokes, just trying to get it, because you have to go full extension to get it to where it latches.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
like if you're like double clutching it just to get to the top, then like the whole experiment is
well, and then like every now and then you think you're up at the top and you're pretty gassed, but you're not quite there. So you go to pull the safety bar up, it like clanks against it because it's not up high enough. So then you got to give one last good thrust at the end, get all the way up.
The legs are shaking.
Yeah,
it's a fucking disaster.
Yeah. I tell you what though, speaking of the 1-rep maxes though, there's 2 other ones I saw when I was in high school working out at our high school gym for football. I saw a dude do a 1-rep max shoulder shrug like for his fucking traps, which was a horrible one. He like jumped with the weight and everything. Didn't go shoulders to ears or anything. And then I saw a dude do I try to picture this. I'm gonna do it as I describe it because I gotta remember how this goes. So I was spotting him. It was 1-rep max day and we're doing squats. And he basically goes down, sits in the hole, realizes he can't get it up. This is back squats. And he goes to stand up, realizes he can't get out of the hole, takes both hands off of the bar, puts them on his knees, and pushes himself up and gets the rep. And there's me spotting him, who's not sure what to do the second. Because, I mean, what do you do in that moment? You weren't anticipating the guy doing the lift to take his hands off the bar. But he bounced it, pushed himself up, and completed the rep. And then the coach was just sitting there with his notebook. Like, well, I ain't fucking taking that. What the hell was that? Then you start yelling at him and chewing him out and made him do lame dogs because it was like a safety risk in there.
So you didn't count it even though he got it up?
No! You can't count that.
I mean, I think it was more of a feat that he could keep it balanced.
It was pretty impressive, especially because, as you know, in that gym, I mean, you'll take 245 plates. One of them might weigh 55 pounds. The other one might weigh 35. It actually was pretty impressive to see him pull that off.
That's an elite move right there.
Yeah. It was something to behold, I'll tell you that much. Tough place to be if you're a spotter though. Because that was the question, is like, do I grab the bar and like pull it off his back? I let him go. I tell you what,
you pull it off. I mean, that's depending on how much he had. If he had like 400 pounds, it's not really easy to just pull it off his back like that.
Yeah. You know, one of the coaches in there, the one that was, I won't disclose any names, but the one that was the former Green Beret, he told me a story one time. He was watching a guy do a back squat, had to pitch the weight, so he like threw it behind him, and then tried taking his hands out from behind him where he was holding the bar. And the barbell slammed onto one of his hands in between like the barbell and the safety rack and took his finger clean off.
Oh,
right
shit.
then and there, yeah. Because he just like slammed down onto it.
Knowing him, he probably like finished his workout though.
I have no doubt he did.
Like, he's that much of a savage.
Yeah, I mean, he probably wrote in his notebook, didn't complete the lift. Just moved on to the next one. That was the end of it.
God damn, man.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, I guess my last pet peeve would be if you're bringing your girl into the gym. I'm not gonna knock anybody that like does like couples workouts. It doesn't work, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You can't ever. Whatever any guy says, like, yeah, I had a sweet lift with my girl. No, you didn't.
Right.
You just didn't.
That bothers me too.
If you're gonna go into my gym, like I said before, having 3 females there at one time is a big deal. If yours is one of those and she's semi like in shape, you can't let her come in with volleyball shorts and a fucking sports bra.
Yeah, there's a bunch of animals
at your
people
to just gawk at her.
Yeah.
And maybe hit on her. Like when you're going to take a piss, don't be surprised if somebody's like
you're gonna have to hold it.
Her up.
Yeah, when you come back, don't be surprised if it's you. Don't be surprised if Nick's in there making moves.
Yeah. Now you come back, I got a handful of ass. Like, hey, dude, you fucking left, bro. I thought
Thought you dipped out. Well, bro, and here's the thing. I could never do that either because, I mean, dude, it just looks so tedious. Like, if we're doing, if we're doing bench press.
Because of the weights. I'm not even thinking about taking on and off the weights.
I am.
You're getting preyed on,
bro. Well, I would take that over having to exchange the 45s for 25s every single fucking time.
You ever watch Nat Geo? You see, like, a couple of lions out in the Serengeti, and they're waiting for, like, that gazelle, like, baby to semi-stray away from the herd, and then, like, 5 of them pounce. That's exactly what happened there. The herd went to take a leak.
Yeah.
And then you got a stray baby out there.
Yeah, you can't leave any strays. Now you're just a bunch of fucking animals.
Why you talking to my girl? Then you'll like get into a fight, and then you lost both.
Yeah.
You lost the fight, then you lost your girl. So don't bring them in. We're coming at a different time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yours is 24 hours, so I mean, like, maybe you just gotta come in at like 2 a.m., make sure the coast is clear. But even then, I'm not so sure you're safe.
Or just, hey, maybe wear some sweats today.
True. But even that's not enough.
Go to Planet Fitness.
I gotta be honest, dude. There could be a chick in your gym wearing a winter coat and 3 pairs of sweatpants, and it wouldn't fucking matter. Like, either way, they're gonna get preyed on. I'll take another step further. You don't have to go to the fucking bathroom. Half you motherfuckers would just walk up in front of me and just start taking your shot. I'd just be sitting there.
It's not just guys my age.
I
told you the story about the older guy.
Yeah.
Tim.
Refresh my memory.
Yeah, Tim is mid-50s probably, maybe 60. And every girl in there, doesn't matter who it is, he's like, yeah, back in my day, like I used to have sex like in the locker room like all the time. I just couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get home and like do it. I just did it here. Like, if I were you, I'd probably just do it now. I mean, I'm like, would you, Tim? Would you really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what every like older guy thinks, but they all have the same kind of back in my day,
like former ego that nobody fucking believes. Do you think we're gonna turn into that? Like, we're just gonna start making up stories about like all the sex we had back when we were whoever's age we were talking to, like thinking that they're gonna like look up to us. Like, that's clearly not the case.
Well, you probably did like when we were younger. I mean, I don't know if that's even as bad as like, hey, I used to bench like 600 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, it's like that. It was another time I was at your fucking gym. There was that one old guy that he needed 4 fucking people to spot him. And your duty was to like hold the plank of wood on his chest.
He's not that old, bro. He's like 34.
No, he doesn't look 34. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
No, he doesn't. I thought he was like mid-40s.
Yeah, so did I.
He was doing like I don't even know what the hell you call those, pin presses, but like
I didn't get the significance of
like
it.
2x4. I think he's supposedly working on the lockouts. He doesn't compete, so I'm not sure why you're doing specific shit for powerlifting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get that. Like, you go to the gym as a casual.
So like
I mean, he seemed like a nice guy, but you gotta admit that's a little bit ridiculous to have 4 people spotting you while you're at the gym casually. You're not training for anything. Like, what? You have to have somebody hold a plank of fucking wood on your chest. So, like, he ended up going down and up. The entire movement of the bar itself was like 8 inches. Down 4, up 4 inches. And I'm just sitting there.
Tiny arms.
Yeah.
He's a short guy.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, what is really being gained here? Did you call us 4 over? Because, like, you picked out, like, 4... Like guys in the gym that like it would come off to me as like you're trying to impress, and it didn't work. It had the opposite effect, at least for me.
No, because he knew you and I were lifting together, and I'm buddies with him. I mean, that's okay, but that's better than like before I knew him and we were like tight. He's 5'7", and I'm 6'4", possibly 6'4.5", 6'5" with shoes on.
6'6" on your dating profile.
6'6" if I got like those Romelo's fucking lifting shoes on.
Yeah.
I was doing squats beside him, and I think I go pretty deep on squats. I would say, especially for my size.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I agree.
I go below parallel.
Yeah.
A lot below parallel. Well, he's like, dude, you got like ass to grass. Like, your ass hit your fucking heels. I'm like, dude.
Oh.
Your femur is like a quarter the size of mine. Like,
yeah.
You know, I can't. You're not gonna ever experience this. But there's a long way to travel from like where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then I looked at where they have the rack, like where you put the little pins in,
Yep.
rack shit.
Yep.
And ours has numbers on it. So I go to 24. That fucking dude was on 15.
about 9, 10 notches down.
Whatever, if it's inches or whatever the fuck it goes by, there's a 9 to 10 pin difference. I'm like, yeah, there you go, dude. I can't do that.
That's another great pet peeve. I despise unsolicited advice. I absolutely despise it. That same day, the dude was in there throwing up. You had that one guy that claims to be Rich Froning and some CrossFitter like correcting me on my hang snatch form or whatever, power snatch form. Nobody fucking asked. Yeah, he's like, well, he didn't even like give it politely either. He just like walked over. And again, I've never even met this guy before. And he's like, huh. Is that always how you do hang snatches? I was like, well, I mean, I don't really do them that often. I'm just trying to, kind of work out some kinks. Like, I had like 65 pounds on the fucking bar. I was clearly trying to like figure out my form and stuff. And he's like, well, me personally, I go up to about 135 for power snatches, and I like to grip a lot wider. Like, I was like, oh, he's something like walk off.
Before he even said it to you, he's like, he nudged me. He's like, dude, what the fuck's your boy doing? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, dude, like, was he like, was he doing
nobody
like,
fucking asked you.
Press or something? Like, get that shit wider. I don't know, man. Fucking tell him.
Yeah, why don't you go ask him?
Can't have that.
And he did. He came over and just started like coaching me. I didn't realize I was there for a training session, but apparently I walked into one.
Yeah, that dude's a clown. He was in there today.
Was he?
He's a nice guy, but yeah, he's apparently trying like he's got a new regimen he's starting tomorrow.
Here we go.
He's like 40, man. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about going back into powerlifting.
Like, bro, that ship has sailed, man.
Like, serious.
Past prime. Well, dude, there is
he juices like his fucking job, so you could probably get some gains.
Yeah. Well, dude, don't forget our one boy back home, the one that lives close to you. And like you guys, you can see his place from your backyard. But so B, his dad, so Mr. B, fucking went up to my mom in the gym one time and asked her to spot him while he was doing pec deck. Like the fucking machine chest press. And my mom was telling me
you get like fucking contraction at the top or what?
I don't know at what point, because dude, like that specific pec deck at that YMCA gym, it wasn't one of those where it's like if you fail the rep, it's gonna go too far back and like could hurt your shoulders or something. But even those,
like
they have like that foot. They have that foot plate that you all you do is extend your leg out and then that catches it. Right. So you wouldn't even need anybody for that either. Yeah, that one was like it would stop and yeah, your arms are like at 90 degrees. It was no big deal, but he still felt the need to have a spotter.
Did your mom actually do it? She had to.
Yeah, she said she like stood there and like, and
nice.
So I asked her, I was like, well, like, did you stand in front or behind, or like, how does that work? She was like, yeah, I like stood in front of him and just like had my hands ready. He ended up not needing it, but he was like, yeah, he got like his 3 reps or whatever he was going for on pec deck. Dude, my mom's got great stories. She also did another class at the YMCA, and then do you remember No Hips Dan?
Oh yeah.
Whose nickname is derived from he competed in the local Dancing with the Stars local in the city. Yeah, and
he's not even a fucking star. He's like a manager at a Y.
I don't know what he does. Legitimately, I have no idea what he does. I don't think he works the Y. But anyways, so yeah, and long story short, he had no hip movements. Remember, he was like gassing himself up. He's like, yeah, I only had like 3 hours of practice before this. I was like, well, it fucking shows. He's like, yeah, like the judges were like asking him questions, and his partners was like, yeah, we only practiced for 12 hours. He was like, 10 hours. And then he like blew on his knuckles and wiped them on his shirt. And it was like, God, you're such a fucking douchebag. You were horrible. Doesn't warrant you gassing yourself up. But anyways,
practicing doesn't count as like you watching Dirty Dancing like 3 times and like hey, yeah, Swayze did this. Like, I can do it next.
Yeah. Well, you remember the one competitor too that like reenacted the movie? He told the host of the show to walk out. So he probably insisted he's the last act of the night. Told the host to go out there and say, yeah, so and so Steve's fucking sick, can't compete, he's not feeling it right now. And then he's like the host, and like nobody was like, oh man, shoot, bummer. But then the host was like, yeah, man, doesn't that really, make everybody mad? Don't you wish you could see Steve out here? Nobody really said anything. He's like, all right, well, let me.
Yeah. Final song.
Then he comes out anyways, does the Dirty Dancing skit, and then wins all 3 trophies for that. I'm still pissed off he won and got rewarded for that. Like for the theatrics.
Lift, by the way.
He didn't. No, he didn't. He was dog shit too. He was horrible.
He was fucking terrible.
He was awful. And we're not even dancers.
I miss that show, man.
So do I.
So
do I. We'll have to search that on YouTube at some point in the near future. See if they've put any more up from past years. But anyways, back to No Hips Dan. So my mom was in like I don't know if it was like a HIT class or like a boot camp. That was it. It was a boot camp, yeah. And he almost got into it. She said it was all women. There's probably like 15 like in the class, 13 of which were women. There was 2 dudes. And No Hips Dan and the other dude almost got into a fist fight one of the classes because they were running wind sprints on like the basketball court, and like the one dude was beating him, and No Hips Dan kept on yelling at him because he said he wasn't touching the line. In a grown adults boot camp workout class where it's like there's no prize for who gets done quickest or anything, but they almost got into it. It was either that, and then there was also part of me that thought, this was a different class, but those same 2 dudes got into it again because No Hips Dan claimed that the other dude was stealing his dumbbells. Like in between the workout rotations.
Hey, bro, those are my fucking 2.5s, bro. Don't even touch them.
Yeah, stay the fuck away, bro. I've told you 3 times now. Quit touching my dumbbells.
The touching the line is just fucking.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
2 grown ass men.
Yeah.
They're like 50.
Yeah. Yeah, in like a workout class where it's not like there's a prize. Like you're not even competing. And No Hips Dan tries throwing hands. I got one more No Hips Dan for you story. It's the same thing about B that lives behind you. As you know at the Y, we would go work out there, then we'd go shower after, then go home. And there was one time, there's a couple of us there, some kids that were on like the high school football team were all there, and B walks into the shower. He's the first one there. The rest of us, I don't know where we were. We're in like the steam room or something, just BSing, but B thought we were in the shower. So he walks in there in the community shower. It's one of those like when you walk in, there's like 4 shower heads on the left, 4 on the right. It's like that open room, right? You've seen it. So B walks in and there's No Hips Dan in there showering, and B thought it was one of our buddies on the football team, and he walks in and goes with his hands up. Well. And he said, No Hips Dan, like had like he like had all like the shampoo like in his hair and face, but he said he like managed to like wipe his face and like peek out like one eye to see who, like, because like naturally you're not expecting that when you're in the shower, and he said it was just him in there, and he like looks at him, and then B realizes it's not who he thought it was. And he goes, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you were one of my friends. No Hips Dan goes back to like rinsing his hair and face off and just goes, you know your friends by their asses? Keeps on.
Valid point.
That's a valid point. Well, here's the thing. Apparently not. Apparently he doesn't.
That's a good thing. Good thing for you guys.
That's the best rebuttal you got. So, oh man.
I think my last funny story like that is similar to that. So when we were playing high school ball, I don't know if you guys did it. I mean, I might have been the last guy to ever do it just because of this. So we would do shower slugs.
Yeah, we did them too.
Yeah, so for everybody
looking back.
For everybody at home here, so you just you got, I don't know, 20 feet in between, like the aisleway.
Yeah.
And everybody squirts like soap and shampoo and shit in the middle. And then you have 2 guys like run and belly flop and then fucking skid to the other side.
Yeah.
Well, this was like I think I was like on a fucking like 2-game win streak. You just like keep going. It's like king of the court. You just keep going until you lose.
Yeah.
So the third one, I get up and I go, and there's like a ledge. You remember in the showers?
Yeah.
There's a ledge to get like in and out of
Yeah.
it.
It's like a curve.
So, I couldn't tell you who my opponent was. I was fucking. Yeah, I mean, I took him out, so I was like a foot or two ahead of him, getting ready to finish, and I looked back to like see where he was, and I didn't put my arms out, and my fucking eye hit that ledge, bleeding everywhere.
Oh my
bleeding
god!
Everywhere. Fucker turned like swollen up right out of the gate, and the worst part is this was like an awakening. So like your parents and shit hang back, like waiting for you to get out, talk about the game.
Yeah.
Come out. Obviously, they saw me, during the game. Like, yeah, he's good. He didn't take.
Like he never got
Yeah,
he never got elbowed.
Yeah, come out, my shit's all swollen up. Try to tell your fucking dad that. Yeah, it's that dude fucking ass naked in the shower, and I hit the fucking ledge and blew my eye up. Like it was embarrassing.
Did you tell him? Like, did you tell your dad like the truth?
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna say?
I don't know.
Either A, that, or B, like, yeah, what, you guys throwing bows in the showers?
Yeah.
But the worst is, like, not only that, it was black for an entire week, obviously.
So then you gotta go to school.
Yeah, they're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, yeah. But they were a little more receptive, because all the athletes know about that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, did you at least win? Well, yeah, I fucking got the W.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fucking blew my shit up. So that was the last time I did it. I know that.
Yes, that's when you hung it up. Like, I'm getting too old for this combat sport that is shower slides.
I don't know how you didn't, like, blow your fucking sack up doing that every time, because you just, like, belly flop down.
Yeah, well...
Into the tile. I mean, it was fucking wild.
Well, to be honest with you, I felt like we always, like... You got, like, into your ready position on your fucking chest. No, like, dude, we didn't run and, like, dive out. I don't know how you didn't blow the sack out, now that I think about it.
Touching the wall, because there was, like, it was kind of like a gate. You would have, like, a 2 or 3 foot swath where there's no soap. That's where you get your lead. So you're, like, touching the wall, and you got, like, one or two steps to, like, get a start, and then you hit the soap, and you fucking try to finish. Yeah, looking back, it's just a miserable idea.
Yeah, I got one. Speaking of, like, post-game showers, there was a crew of us in football that would hang back, and we'd, like, shower after every practice and during football season. And there was one, so if you remember, I can say his last name. It was same grade as C. Smith, number 2. His last name was Miller, defensive lineman. It's a common last name. But anyways, Mink's back because they're on bye week. Because he was in college at this point, but they're on bye week. So he's back, and he's hanging out with us and stuff. And we had finished showering, Miller's last one in there. Mink's waiting behind the door when he comes back out to the locker room to like a rolled up towel, getting ready to snap him with it. And as soon as Miller comes out, Mink snaps him, starts chasing him around the locker room. Miller loses his towel, and he's doing that move where you just cover your junk up with like your hand. Like, bro, because as you know, it's a big locker room, so they're chasing each other around. And it was like after a film session where they give you like PB&Js or like some kind of food, so you have like all the tables in there, so they're like running around the table. Miller got no clothes on. Mink chasing him around, snapping him with a towel. Miller can't escape because Mink's pretty quick, a lot quicker than Miller is.
Oh yeah.
And Miller makes a last ditch effort, runs into the coach's office thinking it's safe in there, goes into the defensive coach's office, and they're in there watching film. If you know, like how they set up in there, ass naked, bro. And like if you know how that defensive film room was set up, they had the projector on the wall where you would walk in. So like they're facing the door. Yeah. So he runs in there, ass naked, lights are out, they're watching the film. he runs in front of him, and then he comes out still holding his junk, and he's like, he says something to the effect of, "Because of you fuckers, I gotta do lame dogs now." He's like just like yelling at us, still butt ass naked, holding his junk and everything. Oh man, dude, the high school stories will always be the best.
They're funny. They're fucking class. Yeah. So anybody listening, drop a funny like high school comment.
Please.
We want to read those.
Please.
We tapped into some, but I know there's a plenty out there. Just fucking random ass, funny ass stories. So hit those in the comments.
Please. Yeah, we'll read those off on there too. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I'd enjoy reading some of those. Yeah, and then also like funny gym stories too. I'd love to hear pet peeves or crazy things that people do at your guys' gyms as well.
Keep your eyes open for that. They're happening at all times.
Yeah. We're at about 45 minutes right now. I know you also wanted to touch on former Coach Meyer.
We'll talk about it. We got to end on that story.
I think so.
Just walking into a fucking film study.
Coach's office.
Yeah, I mean, that's
yeah, so yeah, they're like in there talking like so. Yeah, they like to run the triple option out of this set. They do a read option or RPO.
Cover two.
His butt ass naked dude runs in. Yeah, it was funny because he came out so quick, and like in that time, they were able to tell him like, yeah, you got like 3 lame dogs for that, and they sent him back to the locker room with us. So. Oh man, yeah, I think I'm good if you're good, bro. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover with that.
Yeah, we'll touch on the urban thing next.
Yeah,
and look for a little college football semifinal talk here.
Yeah,
we got them fired up here. What is that? Friday? No, next week. Yeah, it's like New Year's Eve. Is it Friday or Saturday?
It's New Year's Eve, so it'd be Friday. Next Friday.
Yeah, so we'll have those out.
Cool.
We'll have them out this week.
Yeah. I was going to say, we're going to have to pre-record some of them because I'm coming back home for a couple of days, so I won't have access to the computer. I wish we didn't put off all the recordings. I can blame myself mostly for that. I'd say it's 51% my fault, 49 yours, if you ask me. So, cool. All right, bro, you got anything else for me?
That's it, man.
Good shit, dude.
Thanks to the subscribers and everything.
Yeah.
It's good shit, man. We really appreciate it. And, yeah, especially on this one, we want to hear the stories. So
for sure,
those comments fucking hard.
Yeah, for sure. And also, we're always looking for direction in terms of just our regular podcast. We had an honest sit down. We were starting to think to ourselves, we were only in fact painting one corner, that being sports. Even college football at that. It wasn't even many corners being painted within sports in general. It was all just college football up to this point. Yeah. So appreciate all the comments and everything.
Michigan filled up our fucking K-zone here, so we might intentionally walk them for at least one episode, and then we'll come back into it.
Yeah. I like it. All right, big dog. Well, hey man, have a good rest of the night. We'll be in touch. I'll give you a shout when I'm on the road tomorrow. We'll talk to you.
Right, man.
All right, take care of yourself, buddy.
See ya.
Peace out.